Hello everyone. A 300-year-old tree was cut down today by a 16-year-old boy. This is Lizette Morais from the Wholeness Wisdom Well, the creator of Arise, with a very real, raw, honest message that I believe is so important and urgent. So if you have felt in your feels because of this news and just moved emotionally, either to anger, frustration, fear, disappointment, absolute sadness, I hope this message will be one of such peace and such hope. Generations are truly a thing. They are what allow a certain time and space and culture and civilizations to take form. And in this case, the 16-year-old boy represents a very important part of our young workforce that we're going to be depending on a technologically based future in just 5 to 10 years. In 15 to 20 years, these are the decision makers, the executives, the scientists, the artists, the musicians that will create an entire reality for all mankind. This boy could have only cut down this tree because of one reason. And that reason is he is not aware of the value of it. He cannot see its beauty. He does not value the countless weddings, proposals, marriages, moments of love that happened at the foot of the tree. He is numb to the majesty of it. And as all 16-year-olds, I'm pretty sure he thinks he's clever. And yet he's not even aware that he is killing the very thing that he depends on to breathe. Today is an important message from the tree that this generation, this moment in time, we need to be aware that we will be governed and controlled by human beings that no longer value life at all because they cannot see its value, they do not understand its process, and they cannot see beauty. They cannot see the divinity of creation. And we are passing a threshold that we as humans have to pay much attention to. I once meditated with this father and son who came to see me. And as with all my sessions, I asked them what their deepest question was before we would meditate, and we would go into the unified field and feel this wisdom coming through. And the father asked the question, where do I come from? And the son asked the question, where am I going? And I believe that this young boy could only have cut down that tree because he is crying out. The youth is crying out for direction, for purpose, for leadership, for role models, so that they can see why life is sacred, why trees are important, why animals are incredibly part of the ecosystem we call this life, and what makes life sustainable. And as a species, we have all the exact same questions. This generational gap that we are programmed to believe in is a complete concept and illusion, because yes, there are generations, but there is no gap. Our questions are universal. Our survival depends on all of us coming together, uniting. This future generation has the potential to be, and it's very true potential, to be the ones who get to enjoy a golden age of no poverty, of no crime, of technology and empowerment and well-being for every single human being on the planet. We have all the intelligence we need to survive this. But it comes down to true value and an understanding that is heart-based, conscious, aware, awake, empowered, aligned with our essence, aligned with our soul. But if we don't understand the value of the soil we are planted in, the preciousness of the water that feeds all life, the importance of light and space, nature, that we go and cut down the very thing that gives us the air we breathe, the thing we need the most. Are we really that intelligent? As a species, do we deserve to survive? This is why the tree had to fall. Others have gone extinct. Other species, what we call animals, which we think lesser of than we as humans. I have great faith in our youth. I have great faith in our humanity. But the youth cannot do it alone. And I speak for myself. I have been waiting for 45 years for the adults to show up, for someone to put this right, someone to speak the truth, for someone to defend nature, natural law, divinity, the sacred of love, of faith, forgiveness, regeneration, so many things. I have waited. Waited for who? Where am I? What am I doing? What am I doing? This youth, with all their technology and all the power at their fingertips, will not be able to do it alone without all of us. All the wisdom from our experience, our gifts, our talents, to support their consciousness to expand. So we must expand our consciousness. We must find our voice again. We must claim our power again as individuals and as a collective. Leaders making the right choices for the good of the whole again. They can't do it on their own. My generation, 78, I'm 45 years old. We kind of like the in-between. We still remember the time before tech, and we grew up right at the beginning. And so, I love technology, but nothing replaces the sensitivity of music and art and home and love and animals and nature and higher realms of consciousness that unlocks intelligence on so many levels to perceive what is of value, which is life itself. I had a beautiful moment when I was meditating and I felt into the tree. And as I felt into that field, that part of the field, I felt so much love for this tree. She deserves your love. And she embraces your grief. Your grief is the sign that your heart is open, that you are feeling and willing to feel. That is the power of humanity. That is what can never be replaced by any artificial intelligence or any artificial material at all. The heart of the human, the connection to our higher echelons of consciousness, our DNA, our crystalline grid. And she understands death. She is fine. She won't be standing there anymore. And though she has fallen, her wood will disintegrate and return to dust. And there'll be a time that no one remembers her. She's okay with that. She knows she lives on in energy. And it was such a sweet, tender moment of the eternity of all of us. What we do matters. You matter. You might not see yourself as a leader, but you are more powerful than you think. You have a bigger influence than you think. And your heart and your love can heal so much more than you think.